welcome to my channel. My name is Sibel from Sibel's Sweets, and today I have a super fun cake and a super cute one. Here are my little friends, and they're going to be my helpers today. This is a Scentsy Buddy cake, and we're going to use a super cool technique called pointillism. It's basically just little dots, and we are able to create this crazy cake with just little dots. Let's get baking! So to start, I just have a little square cake here, and I'm using some American buttercream to give this cake a crumb coat to lock in those crumbs and make sure we have a nice even surface to decorate on. I'm using a little cake. It's just a small one-layer square vanilla cake. I think it fits perfectly because we just have some little friends here too, so it's just about their size. And while I'm here, I will introduce you guys to my little friends. We have Sia the snail, Mousy the mouse, Gemma the giraffe, and Sweetie Pie the lamb. They are all super sweet and very cute, so they're gonna fit this cake perfectly. So now our crumb coat is on and it's nice and even. We're gonna pop this in the freezer for about 15 minutes. Right now, I'm just coloring my buttercream. You can do this while your cake is chilling from its crumb coat, but I'm doing this the night before actually because the colors will darken as they sit and the next day you'll be left with a richer color. I have a lot of colors here and you can definitely omit some of the different shades that are similar if you want. I'm just going to be a perfectionist and do all the shades. I'm going to do a close-up of all the different colors so that you can see which ones I'm using for my cute little set of friends here. And we would be so honored if you guys were going to be doing our set. They would be super excited and that would just be super cool. We have a dark shade of pink, a bubblegum shade of pink, a dark red, a light pink, a rose pink, black, white, a dark green, light greenish teal, a more blue teal, gray, and maroon. Once your cake is nice and chilled, we are going to stencil out our design. For my particular friends, I'm lucky because on the Scentsy box there's actually a drawing for most of the animals, and what I did is just split my cake up into 4 quadrants. With a ruler you can do that, or a knife, and I printed out my 4 little friends here, the little drawings about the size that would fit in the quadrant. And you can do that on a Google slide or something if you want to just make a little table and do that. That works great. I just cut out my little character, and what we're going to do is just trace that so we have a template for when we start our pointillism technique. So I'm just placing it on my cake and I'm just tracing around what I cut. I'm using this little needle tool here, but you can use a toothpick or a skewer, just something that is nice and sharp that you can trace your paper with. But I'm going to give you guys a close-up of how exactly I'm doing this. Now I am finishing off my 3rd friend, and once you have the outline completed, what I'm going to do is cut out the little finer details that I'm going to trace next. I just cut out this arm and I've placed it where it goes, and now I'm just going to trace around it to get those little details, that little indentation right there. And I'm going to repeat this process with the inside of this arm, the inside of the ear, and the muzzle. Right now I'm just doing the ear of my giraffe, and you can fully cut them out, but I just cut a little slit and I'm just going over that little slit mark. No need to press too hard into the cake. You just want to be able to see those indentions that you made that will help guide our pointillism technique. If you don't have a little drawing of your character, then you can just freehand it, almost like you're drawing on a paper, or you can print out a real picture of them and trace that. I would definitely recommend taking the time and doing this step properly, even though it is a little bit tedious, because this will make the next step a whole lot easier, and it's just going to be a great base to begin with. We are finally done with sketching out our outline, and now I'm going to give you guys a close-up of what mine looks like. Now, the hard part and all the prep is done. Our buttercream colors are colored and our cake is sketched out. What I've done is I'm just going to start with one color. I'm going to start with my gray to do my snail. And I just have a size tip number 1 on my piping bag. And I'm just going to start by filling in my little snail with little dots. That's what the pointillism technique is all about, just little dots. And this may take a little bit. I'm going to walk you through this process of our pointillism technique. This technique is super simple. It is literally just applying pressure and releasing,
just making a simple dot. It's pretty self-explanatory. You're just going to apply pressure, and once it's the size that you want, you are going to release that pressure and quickly pick up your piping tip. Like I said, I'm using a small piping tip and it gives me a little bit more control. But what I did is just started with the outline of my characters and then went in and filled in the bodies just so I could have a solid outline to start. And I just kind of alternated my characters, and I also alternated my colors, just kind of did whatever I felt like and whatever I wanted. And I love this technique so much because, as you can see here, it's so simple, literally just points, applying that pressure and releasing it. It is time consuming and it requires a lot of patience, which I don't have the most of, but if you do have a lot of patience and you're not that skilled, you can definitely do this design. This technique is super fun because you can do any design you want. It can be as crazy and as elaborate as you want because the technique always stays the same. Just a simple applying of the pressure and releasing, and that's what's so great about this. You can do whatever design, whatever floats your boat, any dream design that you've been wanting to try, and it will look perfect. But just be prepared for it to take a while, and your hands are probably going to get tired. But I definitely think this technique is worth it, and in the end, it makes your cake look spectacular. Alrighty, so as you can see, I am just filling in those previous outlines and marks that we made earlier, and that makes this whole process extremely easy. So that means that it's essentially just a paint by number, and little kids do that, which means you are totally capable of doing it too. And it requires no artistic ability, and that's another reason why I love this technique. As you will see here eventually, or I guess not see here eventually, I lost the footage of me doing the background, but I'm going to explain the process to you guys. It's just the same technique that we've been doing, and you are going to outline the outline of your characters and just fill in that background with your little points. You can go in a row from top to bottom or however you like. I used a little bit of a bigger tip than I did for my characters. I used a size 4 or 5 round tip, and I just think that provides a nice contrast between the super detailed characters and a nice clean and simple background. I used a light purple kind of lavender for my background that I think is a super cute color to go along with these guys, but you can use any color you want and just finish that background and we're basically done with our cake.
Now the hard part is over. Whew, that took a lot of work, but it's definitely worth it. This looks super cool and our pointillism technique is finally done. Now I've just gone ahead and added the eyes and little smiles and mouths. I just did that with my black buttercream with a really small tip, a number 1, and now I'm just perfecting it with this little needle tool. I'm loving this tool, by the way. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really love my Scentsy Buddies, and what's really great about them is that they smell good. You put like a little pouch in them, and it can be whatever scent you want, and they smell amazing. My little cutie Scentsy Buddies and I want to say make sure that you guys subscribe to see more videos like this, leave a like and a comment, and we will see you guys next time.